So we start with our very first money model in the book, which is an attraction offer, win your money back. So win your money back is one of these incredibly sexy offers that I start with because it's made me more money than any other offer that I'm going to show you. Let's dive in. We're going to go through how I learned it, the description, the examples, important points, and summary. All right, so this is my beautiful doodle that exemplifies what this is. So I was in this gym mastermind where I signed up before I had a gym because I wanted to learn about the gym business. And this guy, Danny, he said he had a client say no, and then said, "Well, I'll pay you 500 bucks, and you can train me one on one. And if I lose 20 pounds in 8 weeks, you give me the money back, but I'll let you use my pictures." And so, Danny was like, "Well, I'd rather take the money than not take the money." And so he did the deal. The dude got amazing results. And the thing is that once the guy got amazing results, he advertised the before and after of this dude, and he got like 13 more customers from advertising this guy's results. And so he started talking about that at this mastermind. We then took it at the gym that I was at with Sam, and we tried a 6-week version of it to shorten it. It was still one-on-one PT, personal training. And so then I had the idea of, hey, one, let's see if we run ads for this instead of just being like a thing that we tell our customers. And two, what if we made it large group instead of personal training? And so those two changes took this from this is a profitable thing to this being a money nuclear bomb. And so we then switched it to free and non-free versions with credit back and money back guarantees, which I'll explain in more detail. All right. So that's how I learned it. And it was an iteration. I mean, this was like a year, 2 years before we learned every single thing that I'm going to share with you in like 8 or 10 minutes. So now that's how I learned it. Let's go into the description. All right. What does this thing even mean? So a win your money back offer works like this. So you set a goal for your customer and then you tell them how to reach it. And if they reach it, then they qualify to get their money back or get it back as store credit. And so there's kind of three versions of this. So version one is they bet that they're going to get results. They bet that they're going to take a certain set of actions, or they bet that they're going to do a combination of both. And so let's walk through each of them. So with results, no matter what they do, if the customer gets the result, then they win the money back. So for example, making X dollars a month, getting Y customers, losing Z pounds, so losing 20 pounds. You can starve yourself, not show up to anything, but if you lose 20 pounds, you get the money back, right? Basically, they bet on their ability to just reach the goal. The second version of this is that you hold them accountable to doing actions instead of getting results. So no matter what results they get, if the customer does what you tell them to, then they qualify to win their money back. So for example, they attend all sessions, calls, meetings, they log progress, they take pictures, they do assigned homework. They bet on their ability to follow directions. That's the bet. Or you do both, is that they have to both follow your directions and they have to get the goal. Now, the thing with both is oftentimes a customer doesn't have the skill to reach the goal, which is why giving them the directions and tying them both together can be important to getting them the best results possible. As an aside, you want to tie the actions that you require them to do to qualify for the refund with the actions that do two things. One, that advertise your business, and two, that get them the best results. All right. So what ends up happening with the win your money back offer is that it becomes a high cash flow choreographed onboarding. So if you currently onboard customers, then you're not getting paid for it. It's a cost to your business. And so I would rather make it a revenue generator for my business. And so the nice thing is that it works even for people who don't come in for free offers. So this offer works so well. When people came in just because of the referrals and whatnot, I still gave them this offer because people got better results. They were more invested and it was fun. And so we got better results out of this than any other program. And so a lot of people think that we made the money on the people who didn't hit the goal. Couldn't be further from the truth. The people who didn't hit the goal, a lot of times they wouldn't necessarily want to become customers. We had 78% success rates of people hitting their goal. The magic was, again, I didn't wait till the end of their program anyways. I would be upselling them at 3 weeks into their 6-week thing. And so I'd say, hey, you're down 12 pounds. If you lose 8 more, you're going to be happy forever? They would be like, no. And you're like, okay, well, you want to lose 50, right? They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, so you realize it's not about these 6 weeks. They say yes. I'm like, great, then you won the challenge as far as I'm concerned. Because you realize it's about a lifestyle change, not a 6-week, weight loss thing. I just use that to get you in. But what I really want is for you to make this big change. And so if you're good with it, what I want to do is take this money and I want to give it to you back to you as though you've already won. And let's just credit towards the main goal you have. And so by doing that, we could take the short-term goal and flip it into the long-term goal. And so this particular model of acquisition, this offer, works well with businesses that require customers to do a lot in order to be successful. And so there's some businesses where like you work on the roof of the house, the house gets fixed. There's really not a lot for the customer to do there. So the win your money back, not the right money model for that. If you have a business where someone has to take action in order to see results, this is very common in service businesses. Sometimes even in software businesses, they need to onboard themselves, they need to put their information in, put their profile picture up, whatever it is. This structure murders. And so the bottom line is customers put money down. If they do the stuff or they get the result or both, they get it back as cash or store credit. That's how this works. So let's give some examples here. So if you have a rehab facility, it would be like the free Kick That Habit in 28-day blueprint or free Kick That Habit insert word. The suggestion: attend all your rehab sessions, post in the group once a week, journal daily in our app, attend your feedback session and your transformation session, which are both sales and upsell opportunities. So earlier I said, you want the actions they have to take to be things that get them results or things that advertise your business. The third category is sales appointments. And so you want it to be mandatory that they attend the upsell opportunities that you have. So remember earlier I showed the 5 different places? Then you make each of those places that they must attend. And so the result, maybe for these, might be like pass a urine test at the end in 28 days. That's the result. Like if they're clean, awesome, right? And so this would just be a pure results-based thing, okay? You could add in these pieces to make it action and results. Let's say in a pain relief business. So 28-day one-on-one pain relief program, fine. The commitment is that you attend all your rehab sessions, do your at-home stretches, post a picture in the group once a week when you're done, attend your feedback session and transformation session. Very similar. But now it's just about them doing that and not at all about having the pain relief. Because this is one that's a little bit more subjective. So it might be, unfortunately, people are not always ethical when it comes to their own money. And so we say, okay, them saying, well, I went for it, I'm still a 10 out of 10 pain and please give me my money back. So this way, if you have them do all the stuff, that becomes the requirement for earning the money back. Example, marketing. So let's say you teach people how to market. You say, okay, free 5 clients in 5-day challenge. The action you have to take is you have to send 100 outbound messages per day, attend the daily training, post in the group once you've done your homework. And the results is make 5 closes. And the goal is that you have to make 5 sales and you have to send the DMs. And if you do both, you get the thing back, the cash back, right? Now you're like, how does the free thing work? I'll explain how you can do free with money down. Important points. So win your money back works with new, current, and previous customers. So somebody who's new can come in and take this offer. You can just offer it to your existing customer base because a lot of them get really interested in it. You can use it with past customers. It works for any type of customer. It works well with people that start and quit stuff or services where people are required to do a lot of work. The key is that you have to have something else to offer on the back end that they can take that cash and credit towards. All right, so that $500 or whatever amount of money you want to charge for the thing, you then should have something that's 5 times more expensive on the back end so that they get a 20% discount on that by crediting it forward. Now, if you know that you're going to be giving a 20% discount, guess what you can do to your back end price if everyone comes in on Win Your Money Back? You can raise it by 20% if every person comes in on that. If people don't come in on that, then that gets more difficult. And so the reason that people who came in via referral, I still put on the Win Your Money Back is because I knew my pricing and everything else was dictated off of this $500 credit I knew I was going to give them. If you don't like the idea of giving cash back, you can also advertise it as store credit. So once you get it, you can credit it forward. And so that does create, I would say, a longer term customer. It makes the free part different. And let me explain. The way that I made it legally free, at least within the laws of the United States, based on the counsel that I had, was that I had an unconditional money back guarantee. And so that was actually more important for me advertising free than the whole getting the money back, all of that stuff. It turns out, at least from the letter of the law, based on the people that I spoke with. And big. You really risk getting in trouble when you have upset customers. And so why my first rule of staying out of trouble is give someone their money back if they ask for it. It's not worth the risk. It's also just not worth the headache. Just give it back, go get another customer. That's it. All right. So I say, don't take blood money. Give refunds if they ask for it. But the unconditional guarantee basically gave me 2 different types of kind of guarantees. One was performance-based. If you do the stuff, I'll give you the money back. But I also said, I have a service guarantee, which is that if for any reason, by the end of this 6 weeks, you don't believe that I gave you $500 of service, I'll give you the money back even if you're at day 41 and 23 hours. And the thing is that closed a lot of people because they're like, okay, I was like, listen, the goal, like, I want to get you to stay long term. So if you don't think that the service is worth it, you're not going to stay anyways. And so that made a lot of sense for people. And they're like, cool. So from a selling perspective, ask them if they want short or long term goals. And you sell this as the kickstart to a long term thing. And so you explain the benefit of giving external motivation to teach internal motivation. All right. These are all very vague and amorphous words, but in terms of selling, very effective. And so I would say, hey, when you were a kid, you probably had to have your mom say, hey, you got to go brush your teeth, Timmy. And you'd be like, and you go there and you brush your teeth, right? And now that you're an adult, do you brush your teeth? And they're like, yes. It's like, that's an example of something external being the reason for you doing an action until eventually the internal engine kicks off. That was my analogy. It's like, so that's exactly what we're going to use this money for in the beginning to create a new habit. Now, our thing was 6 weeks. You probably heard 21 days to make a new habit. We double that length so that you can make this into a habit you stick with. We use the external to get you going, the internal to keep you going, right? And so that's the toothbrush story. Create habits that don't take effort. And that's what we try to build with these types of money models. And so, as an aside, when crediting the people on the back rolled into service over an extended period of time. So this is a pro tip. So for example, $600, I wouldn't say, great, now you have 3 months free. That didn't work. I did that for a year and it almost killed me. Instead, take the $600 and extend it over the year. So you say, great, so we're going to sign you up for this year-long membership. That's going to be $2,400. That's $200 a month. Take the $600 off. Now it's $1,800. Reverse it back out. So you're basically saving $50 a month by using $50 for that $600 credit for the whole year. And by doing that, I got the cash up front and then they paid me again. How to create your win your money back criteria. So this is key. So these criteria make or break the offer. And so good criteria have these characteristics. Number one is they're easy to track. So you want to train them on exactly what they need to do or they will mess up. All right. Bonus points if people already do it. For example, phones already track steps. That's something that if you can use that, then that would be an easy thing that they already do. Word processors, for example, already track word count. Cameras automatically date photos. So these are all things that already occur. And so the more magical you can make the tracking, the easier it is for them. The second thing is that you want customers to track stuff that is likely to get them results. And realistic criteria do just that. So if you think the criteria look too easy, you've probably got close to realistic, all right? They may take a few times to get right, but so does anything worth doing, all right? So for example, it could be, attend meetings, workouts, watch videos, etc. Just whatever the stuff the best customers do to get the results, make everyone do it on purpose. So this is the process. You do this at the beginning and have no idea. You then find people who get results. You look at what they did. Then you say, everybody has to do the stuff that the best people did. And then you do it again. And you look at the people who did the best results of that stuff. And you say, great, everybody has to do that stuff. And you look for the common factors of the fewest things they all did, not everything they all did. And the third is advertise the business. And I'll have two parts of this. So one is advertising publicly. The other is you basically selling, being able to sell them. All right. So I like using this as criteria. So that means that when you work out at my gym, you have to post it publicly. Now that means that if every person's working out 3 times a week over 6 weeks, I'm going to get 18 free organic posts from 100 people. I'm going to get 1,800 organic posts in a tiny market, all saying the same words that I told them to say with a link to our thing. And guess what would happen? We got more customers. And at the end, what would they have to do? Post a picture of their before and after. And then when they post the picture before and after, guess what that did? Brought more customers. And guess what that also did? More people would comment on all their posts and they had to tag me in it. And so I could have all of these leads across all these comments of all these people who liked and said, that's amazing. What gym is that? Whatever. So they tag me, they tag my business, and then they had the copy that they had to follow for the structure for those posts. Again, you're going to give them their money back. So you can have some stuff that's in it for you. And this kind of falls under the reason why. Because we were like, why are you doing this? If you give all the money back, because again, the person who's buying this should believe they're going to get the money back because they believe they're going to follow through with it. So what's in it for you? And you're like, dude, I'm going to get way more customers than you. 2 things. I want you to stay and I want you to bring me friends. And if I get you results, you're going to stay and you're going to bring me friends. That's how this works. The fourth piece here, which is kind of like part 2 of the advertising, is that you include the sales appointments because that's going to allow you to get referrals, get testimonials for the before and after pictures, and then obviously upsell your other levels of service. So here's how you apply the store credit. This is important. So when customers win their money back, offer to apply it over a longer period of time or a bulk package. So it doesn't you can have them prepay for a year and have them take it off. I usually have stuff that's 5 times more expensive as the upsell off the front end. That way the max I give is 20% off. All right. That's if I didn't change my price. Ideally, like I said earlier, I bump it by 20%. in my experience, this keeps customers engaged and makes you more money. Because if you just give it for free, I noticed that people, it's, I hate the quote, but in this particular example, if people didn't pay for the membership, they stopped coming if they just used off credit. And then when their first real bill came, they'd be like, I'm good. But if they had to start paying even at a discount, they ended up coming, they kept coming. Right. And that was the thing that I found out. Because if you have a business where it takes work for someone to do it, then it's like you want to have them have some skin in the game. And that was actually the term I used in the sale. I'd be like, we need you to have some skin in the game. And I also told the story I just told. So we were like, why don't you do it up front? I'd be like, because honestly, when I did it up front, people didn't come. And you want this to work. I want this to work for you. So I'm happy to give you the discount and apply. So you're still gonna get this money. We're just gonna put it over for a longer period of time so that you stick with this. Cause that's what you're right. That's what you want, right? Okay, cool. Now if someone's like, well, I want the free time and I'm definitely gonna stay. That's like, cool, then sign up for a year. Like, if you know you're going to stay, then don't worry about it. Sign up for a year. I'll give you the first 3 months for free. This is how it works math-wise. So you have a product that costs, let's say, $200 a month. A customer wins $600 of credit. Avoid giving them that stuff up front. Instead, apply the $600 over 12 months. So 600 divided by 12 is $50 a month. They now pay 200 minus 50, which is 150 per month. All right. So to be clear, they can use the credit however they want. It is up to them. If you want to be ethical and comply with advertising rules and promises, they can use it however they want. I recommend presenting this offer first, right? That way they can use it. And then I share the experience I just shared, right? And so in-depth details of the upsell offer are actually in the rollover upsell, which is later in this training. So I'll just leave it at that because this is more offer structure. The upsell stuff comes later. All right. So all meetings and calls provide opportunities to make more offers. So make every single meeting that you have with a customer an opportunity to present an offer. All right. And so make check-in meetings part of your money back criteria whenever you can. Make all meetings required to win their money back. Part of that, beyond helping them succeed, they're also the best opportunities to make upsell offers. So after you've checked in, offer what makes sense based on their feedback. And so these are the 3 appointments I had. So we had nutrition orientation, which was our before pictures, and that's where I sold supplements. Then we had our progress check-in, which I made my membership offer, like, hey, commit to staying for the next year. Then I had my transformation feedback, which is their after meeting, where I would get after pictures, and then I would make the membership offer again to anybody who hadn't already bought, and to the people who had bought, I offered them to prepay it. Here's another pro tip for you. Make everybody a winner. All right, so you know this, they don't know this, and I don't sell this up front. You do not mention this in the first sale. The reason I made everyone a winner is that about halfway through, you make your next offer as though they already won. All right. And so you lower the customer's anxiety about failing, and then you'll keep them longer. They'll also love you more. And so this is what I would say. Hey, I know you're trying to hit the short-term goal, but what's your long-term goal? Okay, that's great to hear. You get that this isn't about this program, but about your long-term results. So I'll tell you what, to show you how much I want you to hit that long-term goal, I'll credit this program towards the other one, whether you hit their short-term goal or not. How's that sound? So now I actually get them to buy by reducing their risk of losing the money they agreed to risk. So I say you won the bet without having to win because you get the long-term goal. So it's actually a risk reduction sale if positioned properly. And so at the end of the program, let the losers win. So if someone refuses the upsell and then still fails the challenge, you can still upsell them again. And the way you do that is by acting like they won. So I would say something like this. I would say, don't worry about it. You started. That's the biggest victory of all. And even though you didn't hit your short-term goal, you met ours. So here's the key. Even though you didn't hit your goal, you met my goal, right? Which was finishing what you started. All right. So to show you that we're in this for the long haul, I'll credit your entire deposit towards staying with us long-term, that you still get your money back. You still hit your goal. How does that sound? And so now they're like, wow, these guys are great. And so, no, the point was not to get people to fail. The point is to get people to succeed, get them to finish, get some momentum, and then credit towards a longer term relationship. So those are the important points. Does that feel like that adds a little bit more context to how to make this work? Yes? All right. So quick summary. One year money back offer rocks because you get loads of offer cash. You get more customers to say yes than you would before. You get massive amounts of results for customers. You get more long-term customers. They advertise your offer for you. That gets you even more customers, and make the meetings a part of getting the deposit back and get great results for them. And everyone thinks this business makes money based on the people who fail the program. No, the real money is from the people who succeed with it, and you have something else to offer them. So trust me on this one. The more results you deliver, the more money you will make. Think long. And so make the refund criteria easy to track, align with customer goals, and helpful for the business. Only use a win your money back offer if your refund rate is less than 5%. Otherwise, you need to fix your product before doing this because you will risk getting too many refunds. I also added my unconditional guarantee to make sure that I was super compliant. If anyone ever wanted the money back, I just gave it back to them. By the way, by me offering that unconditional, just to give you some context, over 4,000 plus sales and 5 years, I gave 2 back. 4 unconditional. people winning and then wanting to take the winning and leave or whatever, like things like that, sure. But people who said, I didn't think I got the service, there was 2, and I shouldn't have sold those people. I like arm wrestled them to get them to buy. Put the store credit towards another preferably more expensive offer that you want them to stay as customers, so give them the opportunity to. You never want people to stop paying you. That's the key point of this whole offer. And to make more sales and keep more customers, make everybody a winner. That way, everyone stays surprised and grateful when you make your upsell offer. So now my upsell offer is this amazing thing that they're grateful for me making the offer rather than this other opportunity to sell them. That is the win your money back money model.